Hello guys, in this video we are going to learn how to create a reusable React custom hook to fetch data from an API. The first point I want to talk about is what the hooks design pattern in React is. The hooks design pattern refers to the practice of using reusable React hooks to manage one or multiple React components. React hooks are functions that can be used to manage a component's state as well as its lifecycle methods. And what is interesting about these functions, these React hooks functions, is that they allow developers to reuse the same stateful logic as well as lifecycle methods among multiple components throughout the application. Let's now see how we can utilize React hooks to fetch data with a code example. As you can see, I have a simple React application that I created with Vite. This application fetches random mock data through the fetch data function in the useEffect hook. The data is fetched from a free API that returns an object containing an activity property which refers to a random activity suggestion. The returned data is then stored in a state called data and returned in a template within a paragraph tag which produces the following result in the browser. Namely, an activity suggestion that we can change by refreshing the browser and making a new API call. Let us now try to refactor this data fetching functionality into a custom reusable hook. The first step is to create a hooks folder in order to keep custom hooks more organized. Then we'll create our custom hook, which name would have to start with use, following the React convention. We're going to call our custom hook useFetch to give it a descriptive name. Let's create the function that will contain our reusable data fetching logic. We will call this function useFetch and we will export it to make it accessible in our components. We are then going to move all our data fetch logic from our app component to our custom hook. I'm going to cut all my data fetching logic and move it to my custom hook like this. I will also need to move my imports, given that they are not used in my components anymore. Lastly, I can now return the result of my data fetching logic that my components can use, and that is the data state. I will return that state in an object like this. And now my components can have access to this data, which is the result of the data fetching logic. Let's now use this useFetch hook that we just created in our app component. I will first of all need to import the useFetch custom hook like this. Then I can destructure the data states from the object that is returned from the hook like this. And now I have access to the result of the API call in my app component through the useFetch custom hook. As you can see, my application is working the same way, as I'm still getting the mock API results and displaying these results in the browser. Only now, this app component is cleaner, given that it is not cluttered with logic that is reusable and that is much better suited to be included in the custom hook. The video is now ended. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next tutorial.